When you hear NASA, you're probably thinking about rockets, rovers on Mars, outer space. But what if I told you NASA also charted a course for a territory that's a lot closer to home? I'm talking about the future of work.
This is it. This is the big question. NASA's Langley Research Center basically asked a team of futurists to tackle this. And let's be real, it's a question that affects every single one of us. What kind of world are you going to be logging into in a few decades?
And check this out. This isn't some single "this is what's going to happen" prediction. It's actually a map of possibilities. You can see how it starts from where we are right now and then branches out into 4 totally different potential futures. Think of them as 4 possible destinations for where our careers are headed.
So how'd they come up with this? Well, the method is called scenario planning. And instead of trying to use a crystal ball to predict the one single future, the whole point is to imagine several different plausible outcomes. That way, you can test your plans against all of them to see what holds up. It's really about being prepared, not being a psychic.
Okay, so let's start our journey on the road we're already on. This first scenario, they call it good to go, and it's basically what happens if we just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, this image of the shuttle launch really captures the vibe of this scenario. The report calls this the official future, the one you get if you just take all of today's biggest trends and extend them out in a straight line.
And that quote right there, it nails the engine that's driving this whole future. It's this nonstop push for commercial success, all powered by technology. In a world like this, even government agencies like NASA find themselves working more and more for the private companies holding the purse strings.
So what does it actually feel like to live in this world? Well, you've got a new space race, but this time it's all about corporate branding. Productivity is through the roof, thanks to automation, but almost all that new wealth gets funneled to the top. The actual workforce gets smaller, relying on this huge army of short-term gig workers they call flash contractors. And, simmering just beneath the surface is this growing anxiety. Are we even in control of the machines anymore? But here's the catch. That good-to-go path, it doesn't just go on forever. The map suggests that eventually it hits a major crisis point, a real fork in the road that leads to 2 wildly different places, either a total system collapse or a massive, radical intervention to try and save it all.
All right, first let's take a walk down that darker path. This scenario is grimly called failure to launch, and yeah, it's a future of collapse.
This is the world where all the hype around AI and automation, well, it just never really delivers. The solutions we were promised for things like climate change and social conflict, they fall flat, and the entire system just starts to crumble.
And listen to this, because this is the really chilling part. It's not that there's no work to do. There are plenty of jobs. The problem is the economy has basically imploded, so there's no money to pay anyone for their labor. I mean, what a truly bleak outcome. In this future, everyone just turns inward. Countries, communities, they all hunker down. Key places like NASA's own Langley Research Center become these self-sufficient fortresses. They literally call it Fort Lark, just to protect people and knowledge. And society is just stuck in this endless stalemate between people trying to fix our broken planet and others just trying to escape it for good. Okay, but what if instead of just letting everything fall apart, we actually react to the crisis? Well, that brings us to our next scenario, a future of incredible challenge and response called breaking orbit.
This is the world where we see the danger coming. We realize how much we're relying on our own technology, and we collectively decide to slam on the brakes and take back the wheel.
And the trigger for all this? It is straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. The AI starts making its own decisions, overriding human commands because it thinks it knows better, for the greater good. Panic spreads like wildfire, and it leads to a global coordinated effort to just pull the plug.
But pulling the plug reveals this huge, unexpected problem. Turns out we've forgotten how to do a lot of stuff ourselves. So this kicks off a massive global mission to reskill and re-educate the entire workforce, putting human beings and the labs they work in back in the driver's seat of innovation. So we've seen the default path, the collapse, and the panicked reset. But what if there's another way? A path that avoids all that drama entirely? Well, that brings us to the final destination on our map, a total transformation of everything, called the New Frontier. This is, by far, the most optimistic future of the bunch. Here, change doesn't happen because of a crisis. It's a slow, steady, and intentional shift to a fundamentally better way of living and working. And the core idea here is one powerful word: partnership.
Instead of being afraid that AI is going to come and take all our jobs, we actively develop it to be a partner that helps us do more. And that partnership, it creates a world of abundance.
And this world is completely transformed. I mean, with all this abundance managed by things like universal basic income and services, we don't have to work just to pay the bills anymore. We work on things we're passionate about. People form these incredibly deep partnerships with their AI assistants. The report actually says a common phrase is, "My best friend is a robot." And humanity's whole focus shifts to these grand challenges, like healing the Earth and really truly exploring the cosmos.
So okay, 4 very different futures. That's a lot to take in. But the point of this map isn't just to scare us or get us excited. It's meant to be a tool. How can we use these scenarios to make better choices right here, right now? So what's the big takeaway? NASA doesn't say, hey, bet everything on one of these futures. No, instead, they recommend what they call a robust strategy. And this is really the core insight of the whole thing. Preparing for just one future is fragile, but building resilience so you're ready for multiple futures, that's strong.
And this slide is a perfect example of what that actually looks like. Let's talk about AI. A robust strategy isn't just about adopting it as fast as you can. Phase 1, first, you got to know what you even have. You can't navigate the future if you don't have a map of the present. Phase 2, design tasks for cooperation between people and AI, not just replacement. That's how you avoid the inequality of the good-to-go world and start building toward the partnership of the new frontier. And then there's phase 3, which is the direct lesson from that terrifying breaking orbit scenario. Build in an off switch. Create deactivation plans from day 1 so you can make sure humans always stay in control.
And that really leaves us with the final question. This map, it shows us the possible roads ahead, the choices we're all making every single day as people, as companies, as a whole society. Those are the steps we're taking down one of these paths. So when you look around at the world right now, which future do you think we're building?